Since the Germans occupied the Netherlands, so everything changed. How did the Germans treat the local people?
First 2 years, I said already, there wasn't a lot of change yet. It started more like in the third year, and the fourth year was really bad, the change of the people. You know, you couldn't make one step the wrong way, or you would get going to a concentration camp. And you know that the Germans were picking up all the Jewish people, and that they all were going to the concentration camps. And you know, also, even little as I was, I know what was happening, what they were doing with the Jewish people, you know. Then they had to all wear a yellow star on their clothes, and then they could see that were the Jewish people, and all of them got picked up, you know. And as you see up the movies, when you see them laying in the barracks, and if you see them walking, and they're also skinny like a skeleton, that's all true. It's the only thing. You see the movies, and of course there's more light in the movie and there's more color in the movie, but it's much grayer than it really is. You know, it's much worse than they ever can protect it in a movie, you know. Yeah.
Did they force the men to work for them?
Yeah, that was the end of the war. Then the men got picked up on the street, or they said all the men with a certain age had to go to Germany and work for them. So at that age, I know my father must have been around 40, and he didn't want to go and work for the Germans. But there's also people enough and young guys who were picked up on the street and they had to go. But my father went on the cover of the attic, and then my sister came running home, and my sister was from the age van Anne Frank. She was 3 years older than me. And she came running home, mama, mama. On the corner by Wolken was a store. They have all pamphlets. If Papa doesn't go to work for the Germans, they're going to burn our house and they're going to shoot us and they're going to do all kinds of stuff with us. So, but my father still didn't go. So then we got the order. There were 4 kids at home, not to say Papa no more. So we could, and those things stay with you, you know. Yeah, you couldn't call him Papa no more. Yeah. But lots of men went to work for the Germans. And I saw one neighbor coming back like, ooh, he was all shaked up, and you know, yeah, the other guys were trying to calm him down, yeah. And then we used to go in the cellar, and then the guys had put all kind of beams up so that the cellar would hold the house, if the house would fall in, you know. And then there was also a couple of gangs where they could walk from one cellar to the other cellar. But I was always afraid to go in there. That was too scary for me. It was too narrow and too scary.
Do you remember how many people are hurt in?
And when we got grenaded in, we were with 30 people in the cellar.
30 people.
And my brother was 7, going on 7, and my sister was going on 14. They got hit the wrong way, of course, and the guy who had been on the cover, he lived next to us, and he died. He was just, because I told you, Nijmegen was free for 6 weeks when it all happened. And so he was just out of his undercover, and he was in the cellar, came in the cellar for cover, and he got killed. So there was 3 people in our cellar killed, yeah. And there was a baby in the cellar from 11 days, and there was a baby in there for 6 weeks, and they came out alive, yeah, yeah. And then the one lady was wounded very, very, very bad. I had to go across the street waiting for somebody to pick me up or whatever, and she was sitting in that house, and then, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I saw her sitting, and she was holding her whole stomach up. She was open from here. So I saw that. She was holding it up. Tante Adrie. She lived in the house when we went into the cellar. She lived beneath us, and we lived on a top house, and she lived downstairs. And she was holding her whole, that was all open, yeah.
Oh my
yeah, by the Bisa across the street, yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
you
the things.
still remember?
Yeah.
Oh.
Those are the things you keep remembering, the big things you really remember, you know. So when I was trying to crawl out of that cellar, I was by the erker, you know, it was in front of the house, and the cellar is here, and that was where the room was. There were people pulling you out, guys, and some hot Dutch soldiers. One guy had me by the pulse, but he could not get me out. So then my father came and he got me the pulse and he pulled me out. I remember that too. You know, there's certain things you remember. And they kept on telling me, don't scream, don't scream. I kept on screaming. And for years and years and years, my kids know that too. For years and years, because my husband died, he knew for sure. My husband died 3 years ago. I used to scream at night because when the grenade comes in, it's like, you know, it's like it takes all the life out of you and your breath out of it, and then you come through, and then I started screaming. So if I was probably in my sleep deeply relaxing or something, and wake up or something, then I would be screaming.
And you scream at night?
Screaming, yeah.
Oh my God.
But I have done it, since my husband died, I have done it one time, and I woke up, and it doesn't work for me no more. I just think, oh heck, you know.
So
that,
even today you still
I have
experience
done it one time. My husband died 3 years ago, and one time I know I screamed at night and I woke up.
into let's get into the wartime. So was there any information you can hear about the
Oh yeah.
the news?
Yeah, the guys, they had radios in the closet, you know,
Uh-huh.
or hiding somewhere away, you know, so that they could hear what was going on and with everything, you know. Yeah, the little radios, you know.
Radio.
They weren't allowed to have that. And at the end of the war, the Germans picked up everything what they could melt to make weapons, like your bicycles, your dinnerware, everything what was iron or whatever they could use, you know. They picked up and they melted it for the weapons. They make weapons from it, you know.
So they went to everyone's house
Yeah.
and get
Or see it if they see it on the street or whatever, yeah.
to melt the
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
to make the weapon.
Weapons, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
guns and bombs and whatever, you know.
Mm.
They used everything. I know they used even certain beukennootje. I have no idea how to explain that in the English language. But the kids had to go from the school with a bus to pluck those things, and then they go to the Germans and they pressed it to get oil out of it for gasoline and for whatever. Yeah, they used everything, you know. Yeah, it was just a horrible time.
yeah.
You know, yeah. You cannot pretend to even think what time you go through. And I was just a child, you know.
Do you remember how long after D-Day the freedom soldier came? So how long did it take to free your country?
I don't know exactly. Started mainly that they were going there to Normandy, where the D-Day happened.
Yeah.
The only thing what I know now is that whole Nederland was free in the beginning of September 1945.
Do you still remember the first soldier you saw?
That was a soldier on the corner from the stoep. But the guy was telling him, I love you. That was the first military freedom soldier, I'd say. Yeah, I've seen one Free Nederlander. In Nederland, there were young men who fought and showed the way to the freedom soldiers. Like the Tommies or the Americans come in and they need to go somewhere, and then those guys, they had a band, red, white and blue around the arm, and they would show them where they had to go, or the places where they had to go, or the places where they could find the Germans, where they had to free the Germans. And they were also in very dangerous areas, and I've seen one of them laying on the corner of the street. Like that, yeah. Was shot. Yeah. How long it took to
free your area?
My area where I lived, Nijmegen.
Yeah,
was
or
the whole Nederland. Whole Nederland was free the beginning of September from 1945. 45 September, Nederland was free. Whole Nederland. Because it went in parts, you know. They freed one part, you know. I lived close to the Waalbrug. You know, there is a movie, A Bridge Too Far, and in that area is where I lived. That's in the area van Nijmegen and Arnhem, yeah.
How this this soldier treat your family? They are nicer, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
the freedom
nice.
soldiers were
Yeah.
terrific.
Yeah,
They
they're
brought
nice.
us chocolate and they
Yeah.
gave us tin of biscuits. And my mom got her baby the 22 of February in 1945. And we lived by my opa and oma in Wiegen. And the soldiers were around us, and we had 3 of them in our house too. My mom got really sick, and then the soldiers, the freedom soldiers, gave her medicine. You know, she really got very sick. Yeah, and they gave us some pills or whatever. And then when Nederland was free, they had lots of fireworks. Everywhere was firework. So I ran down the stairs and I was scared. The war was starting again. Then my father said, that's just fireworks. But in the other families, they were all dancing on the street and they were all having fun. And then my mother and my father said, no, we don't have no fun. Because, you know, we've gone through such a hard time. We couldn't celebrate the end of the war. But they celebrated the end of the war all over Nederland. Whole Nederland was red, white and blue and orange, the Queen's house. There was a grenade, a projectielgrenade. And it came in 7 balls from the top came in to our cellar. And the cellar where it came in were coals for the heater, you know. And that's why it unplugged, and that's why we were all black and our hair were all standing up. And for years you feel little stuff coming out of your ears. That stuff slams into you. The puin, the debris goes in you, you know. My mom had a big one in here in her arm. Yeah, here a hole and there a hole, and a scherf. I don't know what you call a scherf. A piece of from your house, you know. Piece of wall or a piece of stone, whatever. How do you call that?
Oh, the scar, right?
Yeah. And that's where the lady was wounded, what I said. I saw her sitting across the street because they sent me over there because I stayed in that cellar area because that was my father. But they told me go to the Biese, the name was the Biese. And there was Tante Adrie, we called her Tante Adrie. That's Aunt Adrie, and she was holding her whole thing. Yeah. But she recuperated. Long time, but she did recuperate. Yeah.
Areas will free your areas.
What do you mean? How long they were around?
Almost at the end of the war, and France, the aliens.
Allies.
Can we stop here?
It's okay, we just cut around it.
Yeah. Okay.
Allies.
Things changed in Holland after aliens land in France.
How long did we have the aliens?
Allies.
I remember one thing, my husband, who was a year older than me, that he told that he has seen the parachutisten landen in Mook. And that was my area where the parachutisten came down in Mook. And he has seen them coming down. But that was before that the street fights and everything started. What happened after that, the street fights and all that was calmed down, the aliens were still around us and they were still ingequartierd with people. They would sleep. We had 3 in our house sleeping with us.
They're not aliens.
Oh,
They're allies.
Allies.
That's because
Allies.
Rachel set you up with aliens. They
Allies.
didn't come from Mars or Venus. They came from
Allies.
Me too.
Allies,
I
not
cannot
aliens.
pronounce that one too.
I know, it was
the allies.
The allies.
Okay.
Allies.
The aliens.
Yeah, when the aliens came in, they just do a cut.
Yeah.
World War II setting, but with these like tentacle creatures
Yeah.
running around.